Hello and welcome to the RATNEST podcast. This is me.
And I'm me, too.
And this is Jim.
And this is Dylan Trebizo.
Hey!
Welcome, dude.
Hello, thank you guys.
We're stoked to have someone in the house with us. Like, get to use the studio again. Like, I love it, dude.
This is awesome. I'm glad I get to be here.
You got me tripping over my tongue. I can't even introduce you, dude.
Matt's always had quite a fondness for you, bro. Anytime it's like,
I know.
Oh, I hope Dylan's there whenever we go to the bar.
You know, we've known each other since we were wee lads.
Wee little lads.
Probably longer than we can even remember, actually.
Maybe we're our oldest friends.
I would say you're... Yeah, honestly, if you
You know what I mean?
if you had to put it like on paper,
in
the
those
people
terms,
I still
yeah.
talk to, people I still hang out with on a consistent basis,
Yo, I
you
remember
have to be definitely my oldest friend.
I remember watching the
crazy.
Brady Bunch with you when we were little kids. You know what I mean? Like,
I just remember like band parties and your dad and my dad jamming with their big mustaches.
Yeah.
And then all the random fucking camping trips and shit. Like,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Our moms were like homies.
Yeah.
They worked together at the special education school district here in San Bernardino. So for years and years and years, they were like best friends,
Mhm.
you know? And so any family get together, it was like our families.
Yeah.
So you guys were the ones that like were forced to hang out with each other at a young age, and then you know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
totally.
moms
Yeah,
are gonna hang out,
absolutely.
go
Yeah,
play
yeah.
with the kids.
Absolutely.
But it worked out.
It really did.
You know,
Because, you know, there's been that situation a few times where I'm like, fuck that kid.
Yeah. Oh, we all had that
Like,
kid. Like,
yeah.
no, fuck. He's not with us.
And I would purposely be like, you know what? I'll have a babysitter. Like, I'll fucking go sit at somebody's house if I don't have to go to this fucking thing.
Yeah,
it was funny though. I mean, from a young age, like we were just homies.
Yeah.
That's
And,
tight.
yeah, it was like very just like genuine. It was funny. And your parents at the time when we were kids had just moved to the canyon and got that house with the big lot. And they had a hillside of just like
It was almost
grass,
4 acres.
right? Yeah, it was
almost
insane.
4 acres. Yeah.
So they had like a goat and shit.
Yeah.
And
The goat came with the fucking house. Like,
we used to just our playtime was rolling down the hill. You know what I mean? Like it was like that kind of
shooting BB
thing.
guns at cars.
Chase the goat and roll down the hill.
Pretty
Fuck.
much.
yeah, it ruled.
It was fucking awesome because I remember that house specifically. My dad's band would always just play outside because we had so much room that there was nobody was going to call the cops for it being loud.
Right.
And I kind of like wish I was this age when they were doing that, because looking back on, I still remember the memories, but also looking back on it, I was like, man, they were fucked up. Everybody was having a crazy time, like literally shooting fireworks at each other.
Yes.
Like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah. And then they wonder how we got the way we are.
Yeah, why did we turn out the way we are?
exactly. Like,
No, but dude, nothing but love for you and our families. They showed us a good time and showed us what like friendship was about. And like,
they really
you know,
did.
they're like never had any falling outs. They're always jamming and playing music and just having a good time together is rad.
That's cool.
and honestly, it was like your mom and my mom. I think that relationship really held the entire family together because they saw each other every day.
Yeah.
Every day. And it was like a special occasion when we got to hang out. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Like, so it made it worth it.
No, yeah, but I was always like secondhand hearing about what was up with your family, and I'm sure
Same.
as you were with
My
ours.
mom still talks about.
Yeah.
Like,
I just saw him at the brewery like a few weeks ago, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah. Like, I tell her I run into you all the time. Like when we were doing like hanging out in San Diego and shit. Like, she's
Yeah, that
like,
was rad.
She's like, oh fuck, like that's fucking awesome. Like, you guys still hang out, because I don't really hang out with anybody.
Yeah. My mom's the same way. She has a couple friends, but still just here and there. It's got to be like an occasion. Whereas especially when you're coming down to San Diego, you're like, I'm gonna be there tomorrow. I was like, just come by or whatever.
Yeah.
Or I'll come meet you at the bar or whatever. We'll just kick it.
And that's what I miss. Like, I mean, I still go down to San Diego a lot, but it's obviously a little different now. It's just like people, you know, it's just places have closed. People
Yeah.
are doing new things.
Mm-hmm.
All the old haunts are kind of different now. It's just like, all right, like it's almost like relearning going back to San Diego.
Yeah,
How
yeah, yeah.
different things that were after COVID. It was just like,
There's a wave happening right now. It's like
Mhm.
definitely going to be a new like group of things or a group of places that you hang out.
oh yeah,
And the ones that stuck around and survived are just really trying to squeak by.
yeah.
It's heavy. It's
It-
heavy. If you're not the best bar or the best restaurant, there's so much competition that it's like you have no chance in a city like that.
And there's so many cool bars and restaurants that we went to that were just like we thought were just staples that
Yeah,
would
yeah, it'll never leave.
fucking leave. And they're gone.
Yeah.
They're just
Yeah.
fucking
No.
gone.
You know what
Like,
that talks
yeah.
to though is the necessity of the regular. If you're a regular there, you're keeping a place open.
You are.
Literally one regular moves away, that cuts such a big hole in that place. You know what I mean?
One bar stool in a 30 bar, top. One bar stool is like 10 grand.
Yeah.
They say it's 10 G's a year,
Yeah.
like on average,
Yeah.
kind of the
Yeah.
amount that person will, or not one person, but the
that
amount
stool.
of that
Yeah.
stool will make
that
for
can
you.
generate.
For sure.
Right,
yeah.
right.
But even if you have a fucking regular, yeah, you hook them up on a couple things, but they always get you on the back end.
Totally.
And they bring people in and they get people fucked up there.
That's the
and
thing. And they're not,
like-
if you have a good regular, they're not looking for a hookup.
No,
Nah.
that's the thing. Like I worked at a bar for close to fucking 10 years and we had the shitty regulars and the regulars who didn't fucking say a word that I would literally go around people to give them a drink because I knew they weren't going to be a fucking hassle. And then the people I knew were going to be a hassle, they were the last people I fucking dealt with because it was like, you just knew. Like, I know it sounds terrible, but it's like working in a bar for so long, you can kind of like judge somebody's mood almost within fucking 90 seconds of them coming in.
It's true.
You're like, this person's either going to be a really great customer or they're going to be really fucking difficult.
And you try to be fair. It's not like, you know what I
you
mean?
try
It's
to
not
give
like
them
you're not
benefit of the doubt.
ignoring people. It's
Yeah.
just, if there's a group that comes in at the same time, like several different parties, it's like, who do I help first? It's like, all right, I know this dude's going to just want like a beer and to chill.
If you can bang those customers out real quick, get them out of the way. But the people who clack their cards,
Yeah, yeah.
the people
Doing
who
this.
wave,
God.
Yeah.
shake their fucking glasses,
Yeah.
wave money at you.
Yeah.
Yo,
I'm just
y'all are getting put up
like,
on game right now. If you
yeah.
do any of these things, no wonder you get bad
Fuck.
service.
Yeah.
Like-
if you do any of those and you complain about your service, get the fuck
Get
out.
the fuck out. Like,
See
it's
ya.
literally
Sorry.
every bar has a minimum of 2 bartenders max. Like every bar downtown I've ever been to I've seen like maybe 4 maximum behind the bar,
And that's everyone full speed.
full speed
Yeah.
on a Saturday night, 5 deep, and people are fucking. Also, don't order a Bloody Mary. If the sun's down, don't order a Bloody Mary. It's just not gonna fucking happen. It's just not gonna happen.
Can I have a mojito?
Yeah.
Have you ever been that guy? Have you ever been the guy that's like, I know this is fucked up, but I'm gonna order like
love
this fucked up drink?
People love and hate me because of that guy. People love me watching me be that guy because they are not that person, but they get to see it happen. And the people who I do it to absolutely hate me.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like,
I went into a bar recently with a friend, and they were like, "Yo, last call. We're just finishing up," and I ordered a whiskey sour, and the look on the dude's face was like, "Do you want egg whites?" And I was like, "Oh, you know I do," and he was like, "Fuck, all right." Like he just did not, it's one extra shake, but
yeah,
he still was like,
yeah,
"Ugh."
yeah. That,
And also, don't be that bartender. No
Yeah.
matter what,
True,
like
true.
you should just be
Yeah.
like, yeah, dude, I got you.
just fucking do it.
Just
Like,
do
at
it
that
and just
point-
be like stoked.
At that point, you're just gonna do it, and
I get it. I
but
get that. You know,
I get it.
But he was hoping I'd go up there and be like, "Pour me a beer." You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So he
I-
could turn around and close. I could tell.
it's fine. It happens,
So
dude.
I was that guy.
I'm sure I've had that breath where I'm just like,
Bro, I've done it. In the last call, I've ordered like a fucking old fashioned. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because I knew that was gonna cap my night off. I wasn't gonna drink anymore after that. But also, if you can't officially make an old fashioned, you're gonna get pissed about it, and you have to do 15 different fucking things. Maybe your bar isn't set up properly.
Ooh,
Maybe you're just not a good
hey.
bartender. Because to be honest, people get fucking nervous when you ask for an old fashioned. It's like, it's really not a hard drink.
Yeah.
I make them fucked up at home all the time. They taste better than half the ones I drink downtown.
I'm thankful for the bar programs I was in. I learned to like make those, like, it was, no big deal. I was making hundreds a night. So it's like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Like, I can spend a drink. It's not a big deal at all.
Manhattans and old fashions are the two drinks I got over getting mad at.
The stuff that would bother me personally, or the things that weren't ordered that often, that like I'm like, all right, well, what the fuck? Like, we don't have Galliano. You really want a Harvey Wallbanger? What can I substitute? Because the bar program I worked at only had American spirits or American made spirits, and didn't have Italian liqueurs or like different stuff that is kind of crucial for some of these old fashioned drinks. So if someone was like, oh yeah, let me get a corpse reviver, and I was like, I know I can make it. I'll make it. I have all that stuff, but it's not going to be quite what you thought it was, and you're only ordering this because you had one on vacation last week.
Yeah,
like someone's like, this is the best drink ever. So now you came back to your local bar and you're like, let me get a corpse reviver number 2. And it's like, all right.
You don't know how to make that?
Yeah. It's like, no, I know what the fuck it is, dude. Like, you're the one that's late to the game.
Yeah. It's like that. It's like, that drink is out of fashion at this point.
Yeah.
And
it's
like,
12:30 and we close at 1. Like, I don't even want to look for the 4 bottles I need to do this right now.
Here's a PBR and a shot of Jameson. Go sit in the corner and shut the fuck up.
Yeah. I'd say an hour before closing, it should just be a rule that's like beers and shots.
So when the pub was cool, before all these shitty fucking owners took it over and turned it into a downtown LA bar, they would give us free reign to do that. It was like, if you guys are fucking busy, you're not going to be able to get
that's your former
call.
Hold on, let's clarify. That's your former employee, or employer, not currently.
That was I worked there for almost 10 years, from 2000.
And we don't need to say the name of it, but you work at Escape now, and we want to promote positive.
I work at a brewery now.
Yeah, we want to promote positive stuff.
Yeah, not a shitty bar that's thinking it's too big for its own britches. But that whole generation of that bar is gone. Like that. Yeah. That was a time you either had to be there.
It's a wave. Everything's on that new wave, that post-COVID wave.
It is.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, everything's changing and is going to be a shell of what it was, and it's going to have something new and kind of a different format, I think, going forward, because owners had to think about it for 2 years.
Fuck yeah. Dude, and the owners I've talked to about any of the local bars, anyone that I know, it was tough. It was tough. And in San Bernardino County, I actually had a conversation with the district attorney face to face. I had an opportunity to meet him, and I straight up asked him, during all of COVID, out of all the restaurants that got served health ordinances and violations and everyone that was forced to close down or stayed open, like, how many did you end up actually seeing that went to court? And of those, how many did you have to prosecute? And he said 14 cases came across his desk during COVID of restaurateurs that were not willing to close, and the health and safety board came. He said he threw all of them out. He said it is not his place to take food off someone's table, was his words.
They need to think about it in the sense that, like, these people, this isn't a fucking Applebee's, this isn't a fucking Chick-fil-A.
Exactly.
These people saved up fucking money for God knows how long.
Yeah, their families are on the line. Everything's on the line.
They personally painted the walls.
Yeah,
dug up the fucking ground.
And they're paying a mortgage every month.
And they're working there.
And they're working there all day from open to close.
Totally.
And then you get some fucking guy, oh, you didn't fucking do this right. Or somebody didn't get paid for this. And it's just like, fuck off. Like, seriously, fuck off. You see us struggling. You see us trying to survive. You're a county government worker. You're fine. Like, people got fucking, some people got fucked, but some people did, they had job security. People got to work from home.
I was very proud to hear that San Bernardino County was so on board with the local small business. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That means a lot. At least from a litigious side, they were like, they saw exactly what they were going through and they did not want to hurt him. Like there's no need for what was going on. Unfortunately, the people that followed the rules are the ones that kind of got fucked.
They really were, because to be honest, like Escape, we got hit. Like,
oh yeah,
we got hit hard, and I worked.
Well, you guys were in the process of opening that new location, right?
We were opening 2 locations.
Yeah,
one in Laguna, and then the one in downtown. Fuck, and everything came. We had to put everything to a stop. All the ground is just sitting there dug up.
Mm-hmm.
It was literally me and like 2-3 other people that were willing to work.
Yeah,
we weren't open. We were just doing
to-goes,
can sales and like growler fills.
Yep.
And that, honestly, people showed up.
Dude, because you
showed the fuck up.
The guys that were doing that were keeping us alive. We're like, where can we go? Where is it that we can actually go and get the brewery beer?
We even converted part of our we got a temporary liquor license as a necessity so we can make hand sanitizer.
Yep.
Because we had all the equipment to do it.
I'll do that distillation or whatever.
Even that, we weren't trying to make money off of it, but it was also helping keep us afloat.
Yeah.
So
Well, when I was leaving San Diego, not only was it the height of the first like hit of COVID, like in, February and March of 2020, the bar I was working at was like a legendary beer bar in the area.
It was Toronado, right?
Yeah. We've been there. I had only worked there for a little over a year. It was like my dream job. I was like, I finally get to bartend at this awesome bar I've been going to since I've lived in the neighborhood. And actually lived in San Diego. I'd been going there, 10 years, whatever. It was closing, and they kind of knew it was closing, but the pandemic was the nail in the coffin.
Yeah.
And then we weren't able to do the events we thought we'd be able to do to get rid of like cellared beer and like stuff we'd been sitting on, specialty kegs, and like, all these people that wanted to work with us for our going away stuff. It wasn't possible. So then we had guys sitting on the back patio with cellared beer, just hoping people come through the back alley to like buy some shit.
Yeah.
And, I picked up a ton of stuff to bring to the desert, but it was like insane stuff. It was like, oh, I can get like a cable car, or like, I don't know. We can go into like beer names and like how rare this stuff is, but it was stuff that had been cellared for years and years and years.
They're just trying to get rid of
that.
it.
We were just like, we have to get rid of it.
That's because when you have a plan and then something like that happens, it's impossible to deviate from the plan. We were going to release this in 2001 or 2021. We can't release it now.
Yeah.
We're legally not allowed to, and it's going to go bad because it's a sour or whatever, and you're fucked.
I was very fortunate to do 2 big events with Toronado that year that I worked there, and one was pouring Pliny the Elder for the first time.
I remember that. Yeah.
Where it was just insane, where people just
2 maximum, right?
You can get as much as you want, but we started pouring it and we didn't stop. It
Just
sold.
left the tap
Yeah,
open.
The tap just went, dude. It was insane.
I only got 2.
And then we
was
did.
fucked.
That was insane. I loved working that. And then we did the brewery 12 Days of Christmas, which was insane. The brewery does like a holiday beer every year, and the same with Stone. So I guess 3 big events with the vertical epics, and we had all 12, 111, 222, 333, all the way through 12, 12, 12.
Wow.
Oh shit.
Cellared and ready to go, and we did that, and like just samplers. You do little 4-ounce pours, whatever, but.
We have
crazy.
hijacked this conversation and left Dylan in the dust.
Yeah, we're just talking about bars, dude.
No, I loved it down there, man. Like I remember when we did that fucking event.
The art event when you
Max and Dimitri's.
Yeah. It was a pizza place.
That pizza
anymore.
I was currently working. So I was working in the kitchen at Max and Dimitri's making pizzas, and I also bartended at Toronado at the same time.
Yeah.
And we did an art show. We did 2 before we closed down, and you DJ'd the first one.
Yeah.
With Mars and Seagate and
fucking Seagate.
Mike Delgado.
No, it was Aaron Wallace.
Aaron, yeah.
But yeah, fucking Seagate, fucking drummer from RX Bandits and Sound of Animals Fighting.
Insane.
So
Yeah,
fucking
dude.
random.
That he's just like
such a rad dude,
the
man.
nicest
fucking
dude.
cool.
Such a nice guy.
And we just hung out and like talked all night. Me and his set and my set were like right next to each other, so we kind of overlapped. So we got to like play some music together. We got to talk, hang out. Dude's just so cool. Like,
Yeah, super
when we
chill.
When we were doing Do It Live, we threw a show at Maxwell's in San Bernardino.
Oh yeah.
And Seagate came out. He had just started doing his own like music on the side as
Technology.
Technology.
Yeah.
And he came out, and I took it upon myself to be like, all right, this guy, he's used to getting like tended to. Like, I'm going to make sure that he has everything he needs. He's going to have a spot, all this. And the dude's
He's not that guy
He
at all.
is not that guy, bro.
He's like somebody's dad that just walked into the bar and he's like, "You guys want to hang out?"
Yeah.
Like,
I was like, "Do you need beer?" Like, "What do you need, man?" He's like, "I'm good, bro."
Yeah.
Like, I bring him pizza. He's like, "Oh, I'm not hungry, thanks, bro. Like, I'm good." Like, but he was just so humble and so like genuine. He was such a nice guy.
like if you didn't know what he like who he was personally,
Sure.
you wouldn't be like, you just walk up to him and be like, "Oh, are you in line?" Like,
No,
you know
no,
what I mean? Like-
people did. People were like, "Excuse me, sir."
Yeah.
And,
Excuse
to me,
me,
I'm like,
fuck-
"Oh, I'm so glad you're here."
Yeah.
You
Oh,
will
thank you.
respect this man.
shout out Seagate.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is it right here.
Oh, fuck
Pretty sure
yeah.
we could see it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It might be in the corner, but Seagate art.
Dude,
Super sick.
So
Yeah.
sick.
And he's been a fun thing too with that dude is that, like we said back in the day in Maxwell Street days, 2013, 14,
12 through 14.
12,
pretty
13.
much.
Yeah.
we were doing these shows and he was nice enough to be a part of it. He came and did like one of the big like art shows that we did with that Zealous.
Zealous Night.
Yeah, all that. And not only performed but showed art and stuff. And to see his progression as an artist over the years has been sick. And like I've always tried to just, be like, "What's up, dude?"
Yeah.
And keep in touch with him. And he's always been like super sweet dude. So
And one of the sickest fucking drummers
one
ever.
of
like,
my favorite
Yeah.
drummer on the fucking planet.
dude, let's just be honest.
If anyone doesn't know who RX Bandits or Chris Sagakis is, look up Seagate drums, technology,
RS.
headphone records.
Sound of Animals.
Sounds of Animals Fighting.
is amazing.
It's insane. It's beyond.
And I love that he plays even his personal stuff. He'll like DJ, but he'll play live drums
Right.
over his set. And I'm just like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like that's, you know how hard that is? Like just even just DJing, you're just constantly counting, timing, you know the song inside and out, but to do that while also playing like a 5-piece kit is just like, okay, what the fuck?
But that means a lot from you because you DJ and you play live music separately.
Yeah, and it's hard because I've tried to personally, because I play bass, I've played like just at home, I've played live bass over some stuff.
Yeah, you're like
and I'm just
Death
like
from Above style. You're just
or more just like funky, like I like funk, disco, soul music.
Yeah.
So that's very bass heavy, bass driven, but not just like a hard bass. It's more just like you're really filling it in. You're really giving it the life that the song needs.
Can we talk about that a little bit?
Yeah.
Like you playing bass and like getting, involved with, is it Deptone and
Daptone Records
in
and
Riverside
Penrose.
there?
Yeah. So Daptone is probably the biggest soul label in the country. If not the most respected soul label in the country. They put out Charles Bradley, Sharon Jones. They did the Back to Black album from Amy Winehouse because they wanted that sound. All those guys just redid what soul music sounds like. They took it from that generation and brought it into this generation. So people hear these songs and they're like, "Oh man, when was this made?" And you're like, "Last year, like 2 years ago." Like, where the fuck you been? Like, people don't understand that soul music is probably more popular now than half the shit on the radio, to be honest. And so Penrose is the sub label of Daptone. They're based out of Riverside because the owner of Daptone grew up in Riverside. When Charles Bradley passed away, Sharon Jones passed away, all these big New York artists, he was like, "Fuck it, I got to get out of New York. It's too sad. It's too depressing. I don't even know if we're gonna have a label anymore. Moved back to Riverside. Then he found all these local artists that were doing soul music in like the Chicano soul scene. And so he was like, oh, fuck. There's a lot of artists out here. So let's fucking get this going.
Yeah.
So I met the owner of Daptone at Worthington's in Riverside.
Oh, shit.
Me and my guitar player were drunk just there one night, and we knew like he possibly might be there because it was like a 45 soul DJ night. And he showed up. So we got to talking, and he actually knew vaguely who my guitar player worked for before. So with that small like connection, he was like, come to the studio tomorrow. We're like, fuck, we're going to be hungover because we were already wasted. And he's like, come to the studio at like 9 a.m. We're like, fuck. It was already like 11, 12.
Yes.
I was like, fuck, okay. We have to do that. I woke up drunk. Like,
Of course.
Like, we gotta go.
He
like,
knew though. He knew. He was at the bar at 11 p.m. too. Yeah.
It's like, you guys are the soul.
Yeah.
Shit.
So this guy, Jason Joshua, who was the artist that was recording that day, he had seen my guitar player play in his previous band, and he was a big fan. So he was like excited that he was there. And then he brought me, and he was like, oh, I play music with him. We're working on some, solo stuff, some personal stuff. And he's like, oh shit, okay. And so he needed like some backing musicians because he's a touring, or he came from Miami. So it was just him. And he just needed somebody to like, people to like back his track. So we got to back two of his tracks within the day that we met him.
Dope.
Yeah. Those are on 45 records, 12 inches.
Rad. I like that he's still putting out that classic 45s too. You know what I mean? That's
all they do is reel-to-reel tape directly to 45.
That's so
wax.
cool.
And that's something that is not unobtainable, but very scarce. I remember even back in the day, 10 years ago, 12 years ago, when we were playing music, there was a kid in San Francisco that was like a friend of a friend that did reel-to-reel. And everyone's like, oh, yeah, you got to go to the Bay to do that. And it's like, well, there's people that still do it. You just have to like
find it.
it.
And it's hella expensive too, man.
The equipment's expensive, man.
Hell yeah, it is.
So there's a band called The Sinceres and the Altons. Shirt I'm wearing.
Represent.
Yeah, Altons. You know what's up. But they're the two biggest artists on Penrose right now. They've just backed Brenton Wood as their backing band on his newest tour, and also played their own stuff as well. But they opened up a full like reel-to-reel tape studio in fucking Rialto.
Oh wow. Shit.
Yeah. So it's like, people were like, oh, you got to go to fucking San Francisco. You got to go to New York.
You got to go to LA,
it's
New
like,
York.
It's fucking 20 minutes down the road.
Find that diamond in the rough in IE. Yeah.
He's got the equipment. It's all like refurbished.
Well, especially for that soul sound, you need that. That reel-to-reel tape has that crunchy, crispy, that full spectrum sound that you really want.
It's a live sound.
Yeah.
You don't want that compressed individual track. It's like you feel everybody's energy in it.
Yeah.
And fuck all that. Like, I mean, I don't diss like people just doing the overlapping, but how are you going to play that live?
Plugging into something when you're recording.
Amazing, but who are you going to do that live with? How you gonna interpret that? Yeah, it sounds compressed and amazing.
You're always going to sing over a track at that point.
You hear them trying to do it at an open mic, and you're just like,
I'm sorry, bud.
This is fucking trash.
Yeah. So what got you into music just to start, like right from the ground floor?
My dad's been a musician for 45 years, if not more.
Okay.
He played
live and recording music, and
everything. Dude.
We had a studio at our house. Every other day there'd be musicians at our house.
That's cool.
My dad, my cousins, all played with Dylan's dad. Yeah.
Rad.
He would find any excuse to throw a party just so he could play music.
Dope.
Like, if you were coming to one of our parties, you knew there would be live music.
So he had you playing an instrument since you could walk, probably.
I picked up a guitar probably when I was like 9.
Yeah.
When I was fully like
You
kinda
son
confident.
of a bitch. I wish I had that, damn it.
But then it was also like kind of hard because he's so fucking good. So it's like he wasn't a teacher. He was just like
a musician.
He's a musician.
Yeah,
so
he's like,
And you just do this.
yeah, it's literally what he would do.
You only
Like,
learn as much as you want to learn
Mhm.
from watching me.
But to be honest, like that's why I kind of switched to bass because he's so good at guitar. And it was just like so like bow the fuck down. Let me just go throw my guitar away and never look back. But I took what he taught me on that and I took it to a bass because I'm like, I was watching bass players. I'm like, you guys are fucking boring.
Yeah.
Fucking boring. You don't
The
just
idiot
gotta
guitar,
keep the
man.
fucking rhythm, bro. Like you can keep the rhythm while also shredding at the same fucking time. So I like started playing the bass. Like, I know it sounds like weird and like kind of just dumb, but like Geddy Lee is just like, yeah, he's an insane bass player. But that was like, he played it fucking, I didn't even listen to the guitar on fucking half the Rush songs. You're like, fuck those guitar solos,
You don't
bro.
need them.
Like,
Give me that
Yeah.
rhythm, baby.
because when guitar solos come on, you're like, all right, let me go get a drink. Like, the bass solos come on, I'm fucking front stage.
Dude, he
just-
could feel the rhythm
Yeah.
too. Like it just hit
Steve,
so heavy.
Steve Harris from Iron Maiden, like #1 influence growing up.
It's just that driving
Driving
melody.
bass.
Yeah.
But the fact that they could take it away too and just do their own fucking lead, do their own, just improvise, just whatever the fuck they wanted to do.
So I played bass too growing up. I got my first bass. Actually, I think it was 7th grade, so it's not that much older, but I didn't grow up instrumentally at all. It was like, oh, I'm new in middle school and I think it'll be cool if I play an instrument.
Yeah.
Guitar looks really hard. So I'm going to choose
Guitar
the
is
bass.
hard.
And literally someone called the bass the idiot guitar in front of me. And I was like, that's for me. Give me that. Like, I got this. And so from then, I started playing in like church worship bands and like came up through that
Yeah.
and then found music in like everything. To me, the bass is at the very basic of it, the easiest instrument to just pick up and learn, right? All you got to do is memorize the notes and the frets and where they're at.
You could just play the rhythm, whatever, you know. And
But
you
it
could ride
expands
at
so much further
that.
than that, bro.
It's the tip of the iceberg, what people know about playing bass.
Right.
And I could see 1,000 guitar players do whatever. They could spend 20 years putting together this piece or this solo or this whatever, and I wouldn't give a fuck.
There's
Like,
certain bass
wouldn't.
lines too.
Like but you see the fucking bass player from Chic. I would watch that guy play for fucking years,
Stop.
Yeah.
years on end.
Well, and there's some
Like-
some songs too that people don't even realize they love the bass in.
Mm-hmm.
They do the song and they're just like, dude.
They feel it.
Dude.
You know, I was thinking about that the other day. I know I fucking hate it so much. Sweet Child of Mine. That song.
Oh, yeah.
That has one of the craziest,
dude.
best bass lines. Like, I was really listening to just the bass line. It was like, okay, I need to sit down and maybe learn this song because this is fucking sick. Like,
Fun to play. Yeah.
but you listen to this, like, yeah, God, shut the fuck up. Let the bass shine.
Yeah.
All I can think of, dude, all I think of is Step Brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Come on, get it. He's like,
$1,200 a week for
vocal
this.
lessons. This is what I get.
Yeah.
Dude, Adam Scott's the funniest shit.
I'm gonna save it right
He's the
now.
best, dude. Yeah.
But it's just I want to be impressed.
No, absolutely. And so, as a third bass player in the room,
Yeah.
I also started. My first instrument was bass guitar.
The Wonka tones.
Yes, dude.
Yeah.
The most Christian ska band in the IE.
That shit was lit though.
Everyone knew
Thanks,
who you
Dougie.
guys were.
Bro, I didn't even I didn't give a fuck that you guys were a Christian band.
We were 12, bro.
Bro, I was playing a thrash band and I would go home and listen to your guys' shit on fucking Bandcamp and fucking MySpace music and shit.
It was bad. It was very bad. But
I was impressed with the horns.
I was impressed that 7 people could play a song together.
Yeah.
You know, that's saying a lot. And I wasn't good enough at bass to make it like shine for what we did, But I also learned like scales and runs and like the basics of bass through that being in that band.
Yeah, yeah.
And, you know, took it to like punk rock where it was just a little bit more like straightforward. And then you would fucking get gnarly when you needed to.
When you needed it, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that's kind of what I did too. It was just like played, you know, just for myself. And then I played in a thrash band. And I was like, oh, our guitar player is so good. I'm just getting overshadowed by this. Like, I need to fucking step it up. Like, so I started imitating his solos on bass. And people were like, we were almost playing together.
Dope.
And people are like, oh, fuck. This band is just some dirty fucking band from Redlands.
Yeah, you're like,
these guys are actually really good.
Is this Thin Lizzy right now?
Yeah, so my dad just gave me a bunch of all of his records that he had been collecting since he was a kid. And then I really went through them, and I was like, he had a lot of good shit. And I'm like, why have you never let me listen to any of these? Like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah.
Because, you know, he was, you know, everybody's like, oh, you know, records are delicate. Kids are just going to fuck it up. And it's like, well, you could at least like put it on, like show it to me.
I could have
like,
listened.
Yeah. So he's just like, well, you know, these just been sitting here. He was just so weird about it. I'm like, well, fucking give these to me. Like, you're not fucking listening to them.
That just shows how much he cared about him, though. He's like,
but he was so fucking, that's the thing, though. He was so fucking like, oh, these are mine. I was like, oh, do you listen to them?
What?
Mine now.
Like, do you even have a turntable anymore? Like,
also the dynamic though, you have an older brother.
Yes.
And,
yeah.
Right.
Spencer. Yeah.
And it's if he wasn't interested in them, your dad was probably like, check these records out.
So that makes sense because Spencer definitely was like kind of into music, like trying to play,
totally.
To
yeah.
But then him and my dad had a big falling out. So I think he just assumed I was going to be just like my brother.
Like, didn't give a shit about it. Yeah.
So, but I was genuinely like, I would like sneak into his music room just to look at the covers of the albums because they were so cool. Like every album has a great artwork on it.
Absolutely.
And the front album he always had in the box was the Kiss Destroyer album.
Beautiful artwork.
Amazing artwork. Yeah. And I'm super into like, I was into Spawn and shit like that.
Oh, so right
so
up
I'm
the
like,
alley.
what the fuck? Why can't I listen to this? Like, and so when I got all those records, I'm like, I listened to every single one and then I just didn't give any of them back.
What records to you have the best artwork that goes with the record?
Ooh, shit, that would be definitely one, the Destroyer album. The cover of the T-Rex album of just the lead singer
with the white, with the black and white, yeah, and he's like,
that's just such an iconic image,
right?
And then you listen to the record, you're like, this is just pure rock and roll.
It is straight rock and roll.
Fuck. Every Cream album cover.
Okay. Yeah.
That shit is like a fucking Where's Waldo? Like, it's almost like an optical illusion. You're like, what am I actually looking at right now?
It's almost that zine mentality too, where it almost looks like it's photocopied, but like with neon colors.
I love shit like that. Yeah. And if they have a good insert, it's even better.
Yeah.
Dude, that's something kids nowadays do not know about.
I remember
good insert.
A good insert, bro.
I remember getting the White Album, the Beatles White Album at a thrift store, and then having the full poster that came with it was in the album. And just, it's a 24 by 36 poster of fucking Yoko's vagina and everything else. It's just black and white photos like all over it. But it just being that little touch to it, like, oh, this album was $13, but this
still get a poster.
Like, this is the original poster that came with it. This is the original pressing of the album. Like, fuck it. If it's a little beat up and tattered, like this is what someone looked at in 1970.
That's
or whatever.
what I always think about. Is like somebody actually held this the day it came out.
Yeah.
Or when you get the insert that has the mail catalog, like, mail in for $1 for these fucking records that you can find for only $500 or more. And it's like for 99 cents more, you could have 13 fucking records, or mail in, we'll give you exclusive merch. I love those like black and white, but they're obviously like coffee stained almost look.
Yeah. Exactly. In the corners, especially. Yeah.
So when you get a record for like $1, $2, 50 cents, whatever, and you pull that out and it has that original on it, I'm like, this was worth way more, not necessarily the money value, but just the value that everything original is in it.
Yes.
To get the experience from opening the record and seeing what originally was in there is worth more than the songs on the record are.
The promotions on those fucking
it's insane.
Papers were awesome.
Yeah.
The artwork was awesome.
It was like, yeah, it's the same as old comics. Like, I just,
exactly.
You know, you open it, it's like X-ray glasses or whatever. Like, and they're all like that burnt orange fucking coffee stain.
Yeah. That smell too. You can when you smell the record, it smells like somebody's grandma's house.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, this has been well taken care of. You know what I mean?
That's so funny.
Because people honestly, people don't know what they have. I have an original copy of Deja Vu from Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young with the leather bound fucking cover on it. I got it for fucking $10.
Dude, I bought
the album is worth like $350.
Yes,
like if I just sold it right now.
Not to that level, but speaking of Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young.
Yeah. Oh, and Young. Before they all fucking shat on
like
him.
1117 from the Fillmore in San Francisco, like an original poster.
That's right.
And I bought it at a charity event that we did for City of Hope, I think. You know where Lafayette is on El Cajon in San Diego?
Yeah.
There was a bar across the street. It was called Twisted Taps next to Gillies.
I know Gillies, yeah.
So Twisted Taps closed down since then, but we did an event there and had people like donate stuff. And one of the thrift shops, like secondhand shops that's really cool in San Diego, donated that poster. And I bought it for like $60, like silent auction kind of thing. I was like, I'm just going to buy this. No one's bidding on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll take it for $60. And it's so fucking cool. It's my favorite thing in my house, maybe.
And that's a great thing about stuff like that. Like, you don't know what you're coming across. Sometimes you look at it and you're like, oh, that's cool. Like, you just buy it for like the artwork and it's a banging album. Or it's an album that you didn't even realize, oh shit, this song is on here, or this is who did this song. Like,
yeah.
Like, because I still come across shit like that. I mean, I feel like I'm very well versed in like the music I listen to, but
isn't that such an awesome feeling when you hear something you haven't heard and you're like, whoa, how did I sleep on this for my whole life?
You almost kick yourself in the ass for it. You're like, am I really this stupid? Like,
but how often do we get surprised at this age in life? You know what I mean? To where when you get one, it's like, it happens still.
And so good.
I feel that so much with like soul music and throwback and like disco, especially the songs maybe from like 90s where disco was getting sampled a lot more, whatever it was. But
it was a lot of hip hop artists were actually doing like more like not even just like hard disco that everybody knew. They were doing more like the upbeat, like flowery disco on top of hip hop beats, and people weren't really understanding what was happening.
Yeah, and you hear that hook, and then you're like, oh, I know that from this other thing.
Yeah, and all of a sudden people are actually going out and buying those albums again, and you're like, oh fuck, and these artists are relevant again, which is great. But also it's like, as a DJ, I kind of get pissed sometimes where like I'll be playing the original at a bar or a club, and some person's like, oh, this is like whoever the fuck whatever artist remixed
You're
it.
like, this is
like,
lame.
shut the fuck up, this is the original. Like, I know I shouldn't be that guy, but it's like, also don't like come at me with your fake knowledge. Like, that's the thing too. It's like, I know it sounds shitty. I'm just like, but I'm shy, and also I don't like people. So like, I like DJing because I don't necessarily have to talk to people.
Well, I can't hear you. Sorry, headphones are
I
on.
can just like
do your thing,
do my thing. I present you the selection for the night or the theme for the night that I've curated, and you should just fucking deal with it. Just because you wanted to hear Beyonce on your way out of the bar and you didn't fucking hook me up with anything, it's like, I'm just not gonna. I don't care. One, I'm not gonna play it. Two, I don't have a single Beyonce song in my repertoire.
obviously people come up to you and like request shit. That's just the nature of the beast.
I used to put a sign that says, no requests, please respect the curation for the evening.
Right. But like
people still do it.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, does it
not-
get better? Because I feel like people know that now, not to ask the DJ to play something.
But people still do it, and they still like they'll shove their phone with like the Spotify track or like their homie's fucking song that isn't even a real artist. Like I'm just like, okay.
So I've been guilty of being the worst version of this person.
I think honestly, at some point in our life, we've all maybe been that.
Maybe.
Yeah. Well, so the worst, in my opinion, this is the worst version of this person, and it was exactly what I did this night. I knew the DJ, and so I got to the bar and was like, "Oh, hey man, what's up?" Like, gave him a fist bump, like, "You're doing great, you're doing awesome." Started hollering at this chick, and like, we're at end of the night, last call, like, "All right, everyone, last song, we're getting it in," and she was like, "Man, you didn't play this song," and I was like, "Hold on, I got this."
it.
And I run over to the DJ. I'm like, "Hey, bro, you got to do this. Like, here's $10. Play this as your last song." Like, bro, I'm already on my last song. I can't do anymore. He's like, "Keep your money. It's not happening." I'm all drunk. Like, it's got to be the last song. Got to be one more, bro. It's gonna seal the deal. It's gonna seal the deal. If I can walk back, like, "I got you, babe." So he finally looks at me. He's like, "All right, I got it. I'll play at least like the first like 30 seconds of it, and that'll be like going out."
That's
I was like,
so funny.
"Thanks, bro. Thank you so much." I turn around. I was like, "I got you." We turn around, and he puts on the fucking Rickroll song. As I walk back, I was like, "I got you, girl." And he played the first
never
like
gonna give you.
he just got me. He Rickrolled me and stopped it. I turned around like, dang! He just died laughing. And so that was a DJ that knew how to handle it for sure.
I've done that before where, you wordplay it or you play them off, almost trying to embarrass them because everybody can hear it at this point.
Yep.
Like I've done that where it was. So this wasn't at a club or anything. This was during fucking COVID when nobody had anything to do. Like the first like month of COVID, you realize this is going to be going on for a while. Like, you know what I mean?
Everyone's like,
settle in.
I have a pretty big backyard. So I was like, I'm just going to take my GoPro and my phone and I'm going to live stream some DJ sets from my backyard. Because that's awesome. Everybody's at home. Everybody's like, fuck yeah, let's do this. And so I was doing that for a couple weeks. And then neighbors was one neighbor.
Always one neighbor.
It's always one neighbor. She didn't really care for it. But it's also like, it was legit like 4:30 in the afternoon. 5 in the afternoon. And I yelled over the fence. I've been drinking all day. And so I was like, yeah, it was kind of a little rude, but also
it's 4:30.
Fuck off. Like, I could play till 10 if I wanted.
Yeah.
It was 4:30, but I've been drinking since noon,
but I've been
baby.
drinking since 8, baby.
Let's go.
There's 6 empty beer cans in my shower right
You
now.
threw the cans at her? Shut up.
Oh, let me get to that part.
Love it.
So she's like, come to the fence. I can't hear you. And I was like, well, I can hear you. So no, you can hear me just fine because you're not about to do this. Like, I got too close. You pretend to fall on the ground, some dumb shit like that. So I'm just like, no, I can hear you just fine. And she's like, can you just might turn you down? And she's like, I have to go to work. I was like, nobody's at work.
Yeah.
I was like, no, you're lying to me right now. Nobody is at work. So shut the fuck up. I can turn it down, but it's 4:30 in the afternoon. So I turn it up. And then she's still yelling. So I threw probably a good half full beer can at my fence where she was standing behind. It didn't hit her because I have a fully like slided fence.
Okay.
But you could feel like, I'm sure she could feel
Thump,
like the thump on the other side. And then I just proceeded to redline my speakers and play Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe by Kendrick Lamar.
Yes.
And the entire neighborhood
see
could
ya
fucking hear it.
going
Yeah. And I honestly, at that point, I just went inside and let the entire thing play. And then I walked back out and then turned it back down and played the rest of the shit I was going to play. She fucking moved out like 2 weeks later.
Wow. I can't be in this neighborhood anymore.
I don't know your exact neighborhood, but I know the neighborhood you live in, and yeah, that shit's not gonna fly.
No, yeah, everybody's a renter there because they're like either going to the school right next to Loma Linda, right next to Loma Linda Hospital. So it's like
it's all.
But we own our house, so I'm just like, fuck
yeah. You're not. You don't. Yeah, exactly. You don't own this property. You're renting. Get the fuck out of here.
It was like it was during COVID. Like nobody was working. Nobody was doing anything. Our entire street had people partying,
and it was probably the only neighbor that's ever given you a hassle, right?
Yep.
So it's
the
one
other
person.
Neighbors they congratulate us on the baby. Like they're all waving at us every day. Yeah. They come over when we do burger pop-ups out of the backyard. Like,
yeah. So let's get into that. Georgie's Burgers. That's another big reason that we're here right now, man. Do it. Georgie Burger is what's up for first shameless pub. Gonna be here, Georgie Burgers, May 28th at the RATNEST Art Fest here in Redlands, 131 Cajon Street in Redlands. Gonna do a nice pop-up event. We're gonna have artists, vendors, delicious fucking burgers, and that's what we're here to talk about.
Yeah.
So yeah. Let's start.
Let's just get into.
Let's just start it.
It's from the beginning.
So another thing, COVID.
Yep.
People are at home, doing shit. I'm a foodie. I like food. I like cooking. I've worked in a restaurant.
Food tastes good.
Yeah. Worked in a restaurant for a long time, and it's just like I like cooking at home. I like experimenting with food. And I was watching, just like random YouTube videos about what people were getting into. And there was this new YouTube series called The Burger Show. And one of their main guys on this guy named George Moats, and I was like, oh fuck, this guy looks weird, but he was fun and quirky, and he's turns out to be America's burger scholar. So it's like
he wrote the book on it.
He wrote the book on the hamburger. Like if anybody knows everything about hamburgers, from the smallest town in the smallest state to the biggest town in the biggest state, he knows everything.
Wow.
He wrote 2 books. He has TV shows. He has all this shit. So I started following him, and I kind of got influenced by his style. He does smash burgers. I fucking hate thick burgers. Like anywhere I go,
I feel you though.
A few places
if it's done perfect,
if it's done right.
Yeah.
Most places it's not.
Give me that thinner burger though. I'm right there with you.
And so I was like, okay, I was really intrigued by that, and I was like, okay, it's new. Well, it's not new, but it's for me, I was like, oh, okay. You don't just have to have a fucking shitty bar burger. You can have you can get an In-N-Out style smash burger at home.
And shout out to our favorite burger place.
The Friendly,
obviously,
ST 30th,
the Friendly on 30th in San Diego.
So
is a smash burger. So that's the idea.
So the Friendly is a pizza spot, and they're known for their pizza, and their one-off item on their menu is a smash burger.
Yeah,
it's called a dirty flat top burger.
And those guys came from different backgrounds of some of the best pizza and burgers. Well, I'd say best pizza spots in the city.
Oh, yeah.
And then the smash burger was the thing that put them on the map.
So I had started going to the Friendly because of Matt and because of a couple of people in San Diego. And I was like, fuck, this burger's so good. It's so simple.
It's nothing.
It's literally so simple. And I was
so good.
Bun, meat, cheese.
Bun, meat, cheese, onions.
Little mayo and onions.
They do like a little
mustard
their own aioli sauce.
Yeah. It's like a garlic.
I was just fuck. I don't need all that. I don't need a piled high burger.
Right.
With
I don't need a knife in it.
Yeah.
The cowboy.
Yeah.
The Westerner.
So between the Friendly, because I was eating burgers there, fuck it. I'd be in San Diego for 3 days. I'd have 7 burgers over those 3 days easily. And then, so I took that and kind of combined it with the George Moats smash burger. And then just took a little bit of my own influences of just trying them out at home during COVID because I didn't have shit to do. So I was constantly making burgers. And I finally found what I liked and what my wife liked. And we just kind of agreed on a thing. It's an OKC Smash Burger with a California twist on it.
Okay.
I like that you said OKC because that is kind of the history of the Smash Burger. Is that Oklahoma City?
Yeah.
And they used to do sometimes with bacon, but mostly not.
Just that
but-
smashed
so-
onions and
Because you got to substitute. They didn't have that much meat, so like you got to fill it in
right. It was like
with a
filler
little
and
more,
shit.
little
Yeah.
more filler. And onions were the first topping on a burger, but 50 years before cheese.
This is fresh out
Yeah.
of the Dust Bowl.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
Oklahoma
Yeah.
City, Oklahoma is. I only know this because my grandparents are from there, but they moved west after or during the Dust Bowl, slightly after. It's like crops sucked,
Right.
so it was how can we make food go further?
Well, and beef sucked because there
sucked
was
too.
nothing else for them
They
to eat.
couldn't eat,
Like there
right,
was nothing,
exactly.
no ground, and so the beef was like, if you get a 6 ounce
why they salt
portion,
everything.
they'll smash it down into a full burger for sure. Like that was the whole purpose.
you
They
all-
didn't have it.
All the juice from the onions, all that flavor. That's what made the beef better.
Onions might be the
Yeah.
best vegetable. I'm
Onions are-
gonna weigh in right now and say onions.
Onions are the best vegetable.
Onions rule.
Easily.
I just discovered onions.
They're my
I was
favorite
that,
thing.
I had
So
that child
diverse.
mentality of like,
There's so many different types.
Please. But they're
Fuck
so
tomatoes.
good.
Yeah,
they're
no,
like
no, fuck tomatoes.
they're part of the
Onions,
Holy
yeah.
Trinity, dude. Onion in every
Mirepoix,
culture,
bro.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It was just like it became this dumb thing of like I was making burgers for some homies at my house, and then New Year's Day came during quarantine, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna do burgers on my porch." George Moats had this burger slide during quarantine, where he would put a piece of wood out of his house window to the street, and he would just slide burgers in a paper bag down.
That's
people.
so dope.
So I have a porch with a giant handrail. So I built a slide on my handrail, and I was making burgers on my porch, sliding them down to people
Social
on my
distance
street.
burgers.
Social distance burgers.
Love it.
What?
Love it.
I didn't know that's how this
Yeah.
started.
And then
Love
a
it.
year went by, and people were like, "Yo, let me get them burgers." Still like, and then homies were opening up art galleries and bars and breweries, and they're like, "Yo, you want to come make burgers? Do
Yes,
these
please.
events?" And I'm just like, "Fuck." Like I wasn't trying to be a.
Yeah, I guess.
I gotta go buy some more equipment now. Like I gotta buy like the tents
I
and all
guess
this
I
shit.
can.
Like,
Yeah. I didn't want to pay $100 for a banner, but I guess
now that shit pays my fucking mortgage.
Right?
Yeah.
Dude, that's so beautiful. When things just fall in your lap like that, just because it's beautiful.
I literally stopped working like at my regular job. I work like 1 to 2 days a week, maybe.
So rad. So
No,
rad.
but the shit is dope. And then on top of that, not only do you make a great smash burger, I've only seen raving reviews from everyone that has ever come in encounter with you, right? But you met your idol
I
like
met
a
George
month ago.
Moats, yeah.
Yeah.
So
And anyone that's listening, look up George Moats on YouTube. A burger scholar. He wrote the book on it. He does stuff out of his living room that looks strangely a lot like the RATNEST
Very
podcast. Yeah. So I mean, it's crazy. Like, what the fuck happened with that?
Yeah.
So I was down. Shit, I'm gonna do this to you guys again. I gotta pee.
It's all right. It won't
Yeah,
take as long. This time. Just remember, we're talking about George Moats.
George
Hey,
Moats.
we're good.
It'll take me like 30 seconds. George Moats.
Go on.
This motherfucker. George Moats is he seems ridiculous when you see him on like his YouTube, you see him on burgers, like the burger show.
Do you think that's just because he's in his own head? Like, oh shit.
You
He's
would think-
constantly burning himself. Let's just get it.
Here's the thing. That's the thing. You would think he would be like, "Oh, I'm so and so. I'm better than you." And yeah, you see a show, you're like, "This dude, no matter how much he preps, yeah, he's like, oh shit, I burned myself. Oh shit, I dropped this." Like, and you're like, "Okay, this is a real regular dude."
My comparison, honestly, I know he's a psychopath, and I know this is probably not a great comparison, but David Cho.
Oh,
If his art goes for $1 million, right? But if you met the guy on the street, he'd just be like a dude.
yeah. No, I agree with that because I actually love David Cho.
Love the
He's
guy.
I have a
brilliant.
Mungo tattoo, baby.
Seriously,
The guy-
if we could ever get David Cho on this, it would be the end all.
You
Like
know
it would
he would-
all be downhill from there.
You know, you would have to find a new studio after he came in here.
Oh,
'cause
I
he
would let
probably
him
fucking destroy.
I would let him
it.
destroy this and then just rebuild.
You know, he'd
Yeah.
probably pay for it though.
Yeah.
Like,
It'd be insane.
but yeah, you meet. You know, like I met. So,
But how's that meeting your idol like that?
Yeah, right?
it was surreal. It was like the fact. Okay, first of all, he was at a pop-up that I love. So I have 3 influences besides George Moats. It's George Moats, The Friendly, and Trip Burgers. Trip Burgers is another pop-up in downtown LA.
Okay.
This guy has an NDA with his butcher on his meat blend. He made it himself over 15 years. But he does like traditional OKC Smash Burgers. He'll do some like tweaks to him. He does like chili burgers sometimes or pastrami burgers. But this dude just keeps a pop-up. He doesn't want a brick and mortar. He doesn't want a fucking food truck. He knows he can do whatever the fuck he wants. This is what he wants. This guy is so respectful. I fucking love this dude. When I first started my pop-up, I hit him up and he responded to me right away.
Yeah, he's just
That's
like,
Gave me so much advice, gave me so much like, well, this is what I do, but you know, you could do it this way. This is what I do. You could do it this way. And I'm like, okay, you know, that helped me out a lot. And so he constantly checks back, sees how we're doing. And then he was like, oh, George Moats is going to be at my pop-up. You should come down. I was like, fuck.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes,
so I
please.
literally drove
that's
down
insane.
Drove
That's
down
cool.
there.
They give you that heads up, dude. Like that's
dude.
insane.
So I was like, okay, I'm going to come down because it's in LA. So I was like, all right, I took the evening off. I drove down there by myself, rolled up.
Not even to cook, just to show up.
Just to show up.
Yeah.
Just to
that's
say hi.
dedication
just say
right
hi.
there, baby.
Even if I couldn't get a burger, I still would have fucking just done that. So I got a burger and I was eating it and like, I was like, fuck, he's not here. Like, is this a bust? Like, did I drive all the way here for nothing? He had been sitting in the car that I was standing next to the whole time.
Shit.
He's on his phone. He was waiting to like come out. And I was like, oh, fuck. And then, so I started talking to him as I introduced myself. You know, I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
I make burgers too.
I like what you do.
I like burgers. And then he's just like, yeah, nice to meet you. And then like he saw I was talking to Trip, the other guy, the guy who's running the pop-up. He's like, and so we actually got into a real conversation. And then I was like, oh, I run a pop-up called Georgie Burger. And he's like, oh shit, you guys are Georgie Burger? He had been following us for like a year already.
Dope.
Almost pissed my pants, bro.
Yeah.
Like I almost like threw up. Like it's like, how does my idol already know my pop-up?
Your dick started unrolling.
Like, what the fuck?
The same shit we were talking about Seagate earlier. It's like something that I looked up to and like I'm so enthralled with what they do. And they're like, I know who you are.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh.
Yeah, I literally almost threw up. I was like, oh my God. I was like, so I was like, okay, well, now we have to take a fucking picture. And I was like, I'm not just going to let this go away. But he's like, yeah. And he just gave me a big old hug and took a picture. And
So
it's like,
funny, dude.
And then like 2 days later, he was doing a pop-up at the Santa Anita racetrack.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, we're fucking going. And I took
Shout
my
out
wife.
Santa Anita.
Shout out Santa Anita. But I took my wife, who I named my pop-up after, because, you know, her name is Georgiana, but she goes by Georgie. His name is George.
Sweet.
And then
You got to sell it as to her.
He was like, he saw my wife. He saw us in line for his burger, and he pointed us out. It was like, oh, you're Georgie from Georgie Burger. And I was like, oh, fuck.
Don't you wish you had that on video?
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
I fucking do.
Yeah.
I fucking do. It's in my phone. And all these people online were like staring at us after. We're like, who the fuck are these guys?
That's
like,
so sweet.
That is so
I'm like,
tight,
oh yeah,
dude.
the guy you're waiting to meet, he like recognized us. So.
For my burgers.
How funny.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
You know the Burger King over there?
There's
He
no
knows
better
who we
feeling.
are.
You're basically in the merch line, and they're like, I know you guys.
Yeah.
And so the rest of the time we were there, where I was just like shit grin, ear to ear. My wife was so stoked. She was just like happy for me, but also happy that she got recognized. And it was just like, fuck, what are we doing? We're making burgers? Like,
That's
what
so
the
cool,
fuck?
dude. That's rad.
It's surreal,
super
to be
rad.
honest. It's really surreal.
Yeah, I love to see you guys doing events and getting more notoriety and people being into it, and you know, you becoming a staple of the scene, especially, you know, with the pop-ups and events, because that's what we do. You know, as musicians, like, we're punk rock kids. We're gonna throw a show wherever we can.
Bro, we've been doing this shit since Sylvan Park, baby.
It's insane. I remember your mom dropped you off at the show at Schooners in Colton.
Yep.
And it was facing New York.
Yep.
And I was like, yo, you're here? And you're like, you're here?
Yes.
We were kids. And anyone that doesn't know who Facing New York is,
look them up.
There would be, well, there'd probably be a Lizzo, but
no,
Lizzo's album was produced by this kid, Eric, that was in Facing New York.
And then he's Ricky Reed now?
Yeah, Ricky Reed. Eric Reed, Ricky Reed.
But he's Lizzo's producer, but he was fucking playing in this amazing indie punk band.
He's produced
so sick,
everyone under the sun at this point, but he literally... I hit him up on MySpace and was like, you guys want to play at this bar by my house?
With a bunch of peanuts on the floor?
Yeah.
Can I make the flyer for
they'll
you?
They'll pay you in chicken fingers.
There's a baker's in the parking lot.
Yo. And they did! Yes! More than once. We have a good relationship. Like, it's crazy. It's so funny,
so
dude.
tight.
See, like, it's crazy how, like, sometimes just asking or sometimes just reaching out can go so far.
Yeah. A little bit goes a long way.
It really does. And, you know, with DJing, I've tried to get like into some big shows I never got, or I got big shows that I wasn't trying to get because somebody like recognized me or appreciated what I did. And I didn't have to necessarily do it. But when I'm out there trying to like do it, it's like hard.
Isn't that funny? Well, the things that you take seriously are the hardest things.
It really is.
And then when it comes easy, you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
It's just crazy though. Like all this shit just literally just came out of the ground. Like
I love it, dude.
Sick, dude.
You're blessed, bro. It's you know why they say people get blessed when they deserve it. So you obviously deserve it, bro.
We wish you nothing but the best.
Seriously.
Fucking cheers
You're
to you and your
crushing
new
it.
family.
Love it. Yeah.
You're killing
Congrats
it.
on the baby.
yeah, little baby, yeah, little Ari.
I love knowing you,
Yeah.
bro. Like the first time we met was just wandering into Escape.
Yeah.
And Matt's like, "Oh, my guy," and I'm like,
Yeah.
"I don't know this guy,"
And I'm
but
like, I'm gonna get these dudes drunk right now.
and you did, and it worked.
Check.
Yeah. And here we are today.
Yeah, no, it's funny, man. It's like we've known each other forever, and like I'm so proud of you. I fucking love what you do. I love that you're a family man. I love that you love your wife and your kid.
Stand up, man.
It makes me happy for you.
I appreciate that. Like I live in my own small little fucking world where I hate myself. So it's like
Nah, don't
to
do
see
that, bro.
like not that. It's just
We all do.
We
Let me
all
just
have
pull you
our
out real
little,
quick.
like insecurities, but it's just
I'll
like
throw a little fishing line of love in there.
No, it does make me feel better though. Like you guys are awesome, and I've known you for almost fucking 30 years now. What the fuck?
That's crazy.
What the fuck?
Mad respect, Papa Trebizo.
And here we are from watching the Brady Bunch to drinking a bunch of beers.
Cheers.
Fucking in your own spot in fucking Redlands, baby. Like,
You know,
this is awesome.
What a trip.
shout out. Do you want to do burgers at the pop-up when we do this shit?
Oh yeah, Matt made it very clear during the last break
That we have to
I
pressure you
called
into this
out.
now.
Yeah, I called you out.
Let's do burgers. Let's do
Yeah,
it.
Georgie Smashes.
I can also set you guys up with music too if you want.
Does it say we got our homie Zach and then
AKA
also
Rasta Socks. Look, that
Rasta
motherfucker,
Socks DJ.
Great DJ.
Yeah. Oh
Insane.
yeah. So if you got music covered,
but then we were thinking maybe Kuda too, and we'll just make it a whole thing.
We could even I could even have somebody
Man the tent, man.
Man the tent for
we
a little
want
bit.
you
I could
on
throw a
those
little
ones
set,
and twos for
like,
sure.
Yeah, man.
But people need to eat these burgers.
Oh yeah, no. In my opinion, I love you DJing. People have heard those tracks. They've never tasted this burger.
Let's get these burgers, baby.
Yeah, they need to taste these burgers.
This is what is gonna fucking like support my family for a very long time.
Off. Yeah,
Like-
baby.
Yeah, Doug.
Oh man.
All right, dude.
Well,
let's
Dylan,
wrap it up.
So good, fucking. Thank you so much for
Thank
being
you guys
here.
for
This
having
has
me.
such a
Insane.
good afternoon, man. Let's go get some dinner.
Shit.
All right,
Let's do it.
I'm gonna tie it up right
All
now.
right, tie us up.
This has been another episode of the RATNEST podcast.
Sure
you can
has.
you can catch us every week on YouTube for video and anywhere you stream for the audio.
Apple, Spotify, Google, anywhere.
Yes. Dylan?
Oh yeah, check him out at Papa Trebizo on Instagram. Go look at his personal stuff so you can see what his baby looks like and
Check out
where he's gonna be at,
where he lives, where you can
yeah, just go make sure you stalk him.
Where his backyard is.
All my music events are on my Instagram, and then if you follow the Artlands, anything that we do for them, I'm usually playing music.
Artlands is a great spot here in Redlands, man. Shout out to them. They're really doing a good job.
We'll do more work with them soon.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then follow Georgie Burger and come get
at
some
Georgie
Smash
Burger
Burgers
on Instagram.
We're at all the local breweries downtown.
George Moit approved.
Oh, yeah.
Georgie fucking Burgers, baby.
Let's go.